So we're still in it. The timeline collapsion. Yes, it's a word. Collapsion is a word. I make these words up all the time. But the funny thing is they don't exist, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. So welcome to the Gospel of Marie. And here's what's going on in my world. And maybe it's going on in yours too. So this is a bit of an add-on from my other video to do with the timeline collapsing or collapsion. You can use that word if you want. It's kind of cool, isn't it? And yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag because there's lots of energy coming up and moving and everything is in motion, right? So we are still, old timeline collapse, we're still in this birthing stage and the new earth timeline is coming in. Each day I can feel that it's getting closer and closer and closer because this is more of an internal shift within us. So just to clarify the new earth, we are not going to wake up tomorrow and see cities of light that the bank has indeed turned into a crystalline temple and that the streets are paved with gold. Well, actually they will be, but that will come from an internal shift from within. So the new earth timeline comes from you kind of coming out of a head-based reality, coming into your heart-based reality, tapping into that truth and wisdom, you know, your own power, your own divinity, realizing you are an ascended master walking on earth, and all of this, these lives and life has just been one big shit show of illusion, and nothing is real. So that is spirituality, your path 101. But essentially, that is actually exactly what's going on here. So what happens as we shift into the new earth timeline? It means that you agree to let go of everything that is non-truth and everything that is truth. That you are love, you are the divine, and you are here, like walking on earth as a divine light being with mad gifts and abilities, you know, and there's no need for this lack. There's no need for this suffering and all the rest of it. So now we let it all go. So what happens is then you shift into that new earth timeline because then all of the wires connected, everything switched on, turned on, and you're just like plugged into the divine. So that gives you divine sight, which means everything, because your inner reality has changed, everything out there then changes because this inner reality has changed. So everything is divine out there, and that shifts you into that different timeline. That shifts you into that new earth, you know, whereas others that haven't quite made that shift yet, you know, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but that is they're on that side of the of the coin, so to speak, that side of the wall. And eventually many of them will wake up and they'll come over to our side and they'll join us in the new earth vibrations, and they will too see what you see, they will too feel what you feel, and so on and so on. So that's kind of like how this is going down, right? So now for me, okay, the new earth timeline collapsed a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago or so. I felt it. I felt the shift just happen. Many of us felt that move within us. And, you know, like this is a whole thing actually that I wanted to speak about in this video because, you know, talking about trusting yourself and trusting that the energy and the frequency that's moving around you, what you feel is what you feel. So what I'm trying to say is there's so many videos out there where somebody said the other day, oh, the timeline has now fallen and it happened over the blue moon. Oh, the timeline has fallen, and Marie says, oh, I felt it last Friday. And somebody else says it's another timeline. Generally, we're all in the same ballpark, which means we're all feeling the same thing. But what I'm kind of like calling you to do is rather than listen to that out there, take it as a little bit of a precursor, as it were, a pointer, but then tap into where you feel it. I mean, when did you feel it fall? Have you felt it fall yet? You know what I mean? It might not be, it might be, but like the importance is actually you trusting yourself and really going into what you're feeling to be true within your being. And the only way that I was able to share that timeline collapse was because I felt it, and I felt it within my being. I shared it with you, and there's a lot of you that kind of went, yeah, I felt it too. And that's the way it rolls. But if you didn't feel it, you're going to be feeling it in a different timeline for a good reason. So trust that. Okay, we don't want to give our power to somebody else's opinion, because everything that we come across and everything that we share essentially is our opinion, because we're human. And if it resonates with you, then that's an energy connection, right? But as far as everything else going out there, you know what I mean? Everybody's speaking about stuff, even me here now. It is my opinion, okay, on how I feel about things. And if your energy agrees on that, then we have a connection, and so the wheel turns. And if you don't, you just leave it alone, you move on. So everything is frequency and vibration. Everything is frequency and vibration, including what your experience is within. So I just want you to tap into that and not be led astray from your own internal compass and energy navigation system. There you go. I said it. So that's that. So be empowered. Step into that timeline, you know, and claim that, because that's the pathways to the new earth. That's the way we're going, right? So I want to talk a bit about Thoth, okay? Because Thoth has come in very, very powerfully recently, actually, and he's made himself very, very present. And I mean, in good reason, because if you think about it, Thoth, the Egyptian god, he is the god of wisdom, healing, teaching, scribing, sacred geometry, all of the above. But what he's also, Akashic records, have I left anything out? What he's also the god of is sacred architecture, okay? And activating that sacred structure, sacred architecture. You are sacred architecture, right? So in light of the fact that this timeline is collapsing and we are now in this middle part of rebirth and we're kind of coming into the new earth, I've always joked and jested and said that we are in construction. When people say, what job are you in, Marie? I'm like, I'm in construction, because I'm building the new earth, man, from one brick, bit by bit, inside myself, out there, right? You are too, okay? So now sacred architecture, which is one of Thoth's superpowers, ascended masteries that he helps us with, like that's what we've got going on right now, which is why he stepped forward, because now we need to work with all the tools, the wisdoms and everything like that, so we can start to rebuild our own inner reality, to which is the new earth timeline, which can then be, sort of like shared out there, like we can create the reality out there. So the fact that he's bringing his Metatrons cube to the forefront now Metatron is also Thoth. Thoth was also Enoch. I mean, like all of these ascended masters, they cross-pollinate, we know that. But to keep it focused and channeled to the point is what I'm trying to make here. Let's keep it to Thoth, sacred architecture, Metatron's cube. Now, Metatron's cube is the design key for the Great Pyramid. I mean, because all of the shapes in there, is every single shape to do with creation is in the Metatron's cube. Now, if you don't know what Metatron's cube looks like, one moment. This is Metatron. Metatron. This is everyone. Everyone meet Metatron. Sorry. So this is Metatron's cube, okay? So this is quite something. Now, to keep it real simple, all of these symbols in here are actually musical frequencies and vibrations. So when we look at Metatron's cube, we actually look at music, and everything is about sound, vibration, right? Especially the Great Pyramid. So, I mean, you start deep diving into the meanings, the teachings of the Metatron's cube. It's an infinite web of so much magic, mastery, wisdom, the whole bang shoot. So he's bringing forward this Metatron's cube. So I want to share with you now a very practical way of working with sacred geometry, which is definitely up Thoth's alley because he is the god of symbology, and how to work with it. So Metatron's cube, my altar, which is to the left of me, you can't see it right now, but it's actually got a Metatron's cube with all of my crystals on it. And at the back, there is Metatron's cube at the back as well. So when I sit in front of my altar, I visually see my altar, and also my creations and my crystal formations is all sitting on top of that symbol as well. Now, Metatron's cube is a very, very powerful activator. So it can activate your ideas, your visions, your creations, even your own physical body. Visualize yourself standing on the Metatron's cube and feel that energy and frequency going all the way up through your energy field, and it realigns, it balances, it harmonizes everything. Now, Archangel Metatron, okay, is, whichever way you want to say it, the highest archangel of all, highest archangel. So he's like the boss man, if you like, you know, and he kind of like brings creation, frequency, energy all the way down into the physical, into the earth plane harmoniously. Now, this really backs up kind of like the HEKA codes, because the HEKA codes is frequency, it's alchemy. Okay, so these HEKA codes we all have access to because it's the alchemical frequencies, energies, symbologies, which help us bring idea, thought into matter. Okay, so when you and clears all the density away so it can be in its highest aspect. So that is why I put all my crystals and all of my ideas and creations and whatever on top of the Metatron's cube, because it will activate, clear, bring up to the highest point the highest potential of my idea, vision, whatever I place on there. And the Great Pyramid is very much like that as well. It's a med bed. It's like you can put anything inside of the Great Pyramid, or you could when all the technologies were on point and switched on. And it would take rotten fruit into fresh fruit. It would take blunt razors into really, really sharp razors. And like Metatron, the actual Metatron's cube vibration has the same capacity to do that. So you can visualize yourself lying on it, standing on it, and upgrading, restoring, rejuvenating, realigning all that you are and all that you wish to bring into the highest timeline. So for us conscious creators, us that are working with HEKA, I've been working with Metatron's Cube a lot in the group that I'm currently holding right now, because it's essential for your alchemical upgrades, you know what I mean, with all that you do. So work with the symbology of Metatron's Cube, because essentially, I mean, I've just said it was the design key for the Great Pyramid and loads of other things. So, I mean, that is the design key for our New Earth template. You're the New Earth template. That's you. So use the symbol within, and the more that you work with it, the more it's going to unlock your inner wisdom. Just, I mean, who knows what that is, right? But just by merely sitting in front of the Metatron's Cube and just like kind of like gazing into it, heart open, you won't know what's going on in your meditation. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but it will start to unlock things for you as well. So it's like really, really powerful to work with these symbologies and all of these other symbols that we've got going on, like the macabre, I mean, all sorts, the flower of life, the Vesica Pisces. You know, now is the time for us to really access all of those tools, which Thoth is actually kind of telling us, right, come on, guys, you got all of this, help, like use it. But first of all, work with the Metatron's Cube, because it's got everything in there. So a really powerful tool that we're being gifted right now. So going back to like a bit of the energy stuff that's going on right now with the timeline collapse and all of the above, so much tiredness. Okay. I'm actually quite exhausted, but then when I go to sleep at night, it's hectic. You know what I mean? There's a lot of astral traveling going on. There's a lot of work being done in our dream state. So I just want to ping that on your radar. Be super mindful of that, because like you wake up and you're going, why am I so tired? I need to work harder in my waking day. Or not. Maybe you just need to chill pill a little bit, because we're doing so much work at night. There is so much going on that we have no idea of actually like just how much. So honor and trust that. Now, trust is a big thing of this video, okay? Because I've been sat in meditation, channeling all morning, and the closing, which came actually through Metatron's Cube as I gazed at the symbol, trust yourself. Or for me, it was like, trust myself, you know, trust myself. Because in the waking state, beyond the astral travel that's making you tired, and with this transition we're moving to the new earth, in this waking state, I don't know whether any of you have been feeling this, but in the last couple of days, I have been so antsy. I have just been like 98% downloaded into my peace vibes. But then the other 2%, I'm just like, should be doing something. And I can't quite figure out what it is that won't let me petal. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, God, so I spoke to a friend of mine and she was like, no, I'm feeling the same as well. And I'm like, oh, this is a thing, you know? And what it is it's the final remnants of trusting. It's because, think about it, like here you are in the day, you're kind of fiddling around. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Let me just sit for a bit. Oh no, maybe I'll do that. You know, it's because you can't trust in the oneness and the peace and the truth that everything is taken care of. That really, you can kick back and relax now, because you can trust in the knowing that all is well. But there's this last layer of like, but I'm not sure though. You know, so then we start messing around and faffing around with everything. Do you know what I mean? Because we feel like we need to help it along, because that is what we've always done. That's how we've always had to operate, because because the vibration wasn't there. But now the vibration has come in and it's supporting us. We're not used to it. So we're feeling a little bit antsy, and we can't just chill out completely. So it's about trusting. It's not just about, well, actually, my guides came through and they showed me holding hands with my whole team. But I was in the circle holding hands with them. And they were like, trust us. And then they were like, trust you. Because essentially, your higher self is your gateway to all the gods and goddesses and all of the beings that you work with, all of the galactics. Because the galactics always tell us, listen, it's really nice to talk to you all the time, but it's probably better if you speak to your higher self first and give your soul a little bit of credit as to how wise and powerful and just as badass as they are, you know, your soul is. start talking to your higher self, because that's also the one that knows everything. It's the other part of you, right? It's the other you, okay? So I was there holding hands, kumbayaing with my team, and they were like, trust you. Trust yourself. And then as I say that, I can feel that merging between my high heart and my heart. Those two are coming together, because this now is really coming online, the high heart, the cosmic heart, because now this is your entry point to all that there is. It's like, this is your power center, really. And this is what's happening. As all of our chakras align and we're coming into this oneness wisdom and everything's balancing up, it's this that's really coming online now. So trust yourself, because you can't pass go until we are fully embodied in that trust and knowing that everything is okay now. Everything is all right. And you always had what you've been seeking for. It was always there. It's just that we had so much shit laid on top of it. We were like, oh my God, we've got to go and fix this. We've got to go and find it. You were always there. But now we've blown all that dust off the top. There's this beautiful reveal of your blueprint, your signature you, of like how divinely beautiful and unique you actually are and how brilliant you are. And now you go, oh my God, that's why I don't need to fuss or fight so much anymore, because I always had it. You know, I always had it. And I just want to leave you with one more thing. And this happened to me in the mall the other day. And it was such a powerful lesson or story, whatever. And I was walking past a shop and I heard this kid screaming, like blood curdling, screaming. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? This little boy came out and he was crying, and he was outside the card shop and he was like, Mom, and he was calling for his mother. Now I saw him from down the way and I was like, oh, I need to go and help that little boy, as did a few other people, right? But then he's screaming and he's screaming. And then all of a sudden his mom just turned around. She said, my boy, I'm right here. I'm right here. And he's like, oh, thank the Lord. So the message of that was two things. Like, he was freaking out, so traumatized that his mother wasn't there. She just turned her back to look at the cards. She was always there. She hadn't gone anywhere. And even if she wasn't there, or he didn't think she was, we were there. There was about 3 or 4 of us other mothers that were like, oh, shame, child. So he was always going to be supported and looked after. But he absolutely freaked out when his mother was an arm's stretch away. She was right there. The mother, she holds you. She's always held you. You know what I mean? She hasn't let go of any of us for a moment at all. We've just thought that she did. So that was a really powerful thing that I wanted to share with you. So yeah, timeline's still kind of like, everything's still shifting and shaking. Things are moving. Wanted to do a video today because it's 25th of September and I thought, who doesn't love a lucky number 7? So yeah, that's what's going on in the world right now. But really, I cannot urge enough. Work with Thoth, work with the Metatrons cube, just by gazing, you know, like scrying, just gazing into that, and don't think about what is it bringing me. Just open up to that divine blueprint, because essentially it is a blueprint. It's a symbology, and you hold that within you, and it's going to do amazing things to just unlock you. So peace and light, love, all of the above, Thoth vibes. And this is really happening, guys. It's New Earth is landing within each and every one of us. And always, so much love. Thank you for watching. Peace.